Yeah, I think so. Oh! Oh, that was nice. Oh. Hi guys, we are back with the Traxxas X-Maxx again. How are you still running the standard motor? Have you managed to continue to run the standard? We know they're not particularly reliable. Well, this should change all of that. So yes, we are going to replace the standard plastic end bearer with one of these, was it a GPM alloy metal one, and it will transform the reliability of the standard Traxxas motor. So we'll show you how to do it. Obviously we need to get the motor out of here. Do you need to see us doing that? I don't think so, do you really? That's pretty straightforward. If you do, leave a comment down below and we will do a video on that, but let's get the motor out. Right guys, so here is our motor out of the X-Maxx or any other similar sized truck. Now, little tip, when you put the motors back in, if it goes the wrong way around, don't worry, or if the direction of the car goes wrong, so it goes backwards, when you put the stick forward, we'll tell you what to do. It's a very simple fix, but we'll tell you that at the end. So what we need to do first of all, remove the pinion. Haven't bothered to remove this heatsink. You can do, but it's not crucial. Pinion off. We then need to just take off this. Wrong size. It comes off like that. In fact, what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm actually going to just give this a quick clean. Quick blast off with compressed air and a paintbrush, just so I make sure I get no dirt inside. Just want to take this off. So we just need to remove these 3 screws. Now we are going to carefully remove this plastic end cover. It's got a bearing in it. It supports the end of the shaft. Very carefully lift that off there. Keep an eye out for any shims. You might have some shims on here. As you can see, a couple of shims on there. We need to make sure we don't lose them. And this is the bit we are going to replace. So what we need to do is take the bearing out of here and put it into here. So the bearing should just push out of there. Be careful not to damage any of the races on it, or the shields on it I should say. Now here's a good point to feel if this bearing feels notchy. This one feels okay, so I'm going to put it back in here. But if this bearing is notchy, replace it. Get a new motor bearing, because again this is a reason for motors to fail. So we're now going to put that back in there. So guys, here is our new bearing fitted in. It just needs to go in a little bit, the bearing just needs to go in a little bit further. Now what I use is a socket that's exactly the same diameter as the outside race. You'll see some people just put anything on there and bash it, but you're likeliest to damage the bearing then if you do that. So just on there, line those up with the outside and just a light tap just to make sure that is home. And you'll see there is a small gap there, or it would appear it is anyway, but it will be a test fit. Make sure you've got your shims, you haven't lost your shims in there. Check for any dirt or debris. You don't want any dirt in there at all. And this will then just slide over there. You will just have to wiggle it a little bit so it centralizes. And then line up your holes. And we can then put the 3 bolts back in. I've just orientated it so the GPM logo's at the top. And then you put these 3 bolts back in. You can just feel you'll have a little bit what they call end float, so that shaft will move a little bit. Talk to you all day about end float and performance on motors, but for this doesn't make any difference. Just wind those 3 bolts back in there. Now we have got metal into metal here, so I suppose you could put a bit of thread lock. I am not going to worry. And there we have it. So we're going to build this back up. We can put the support back on. Nice fit into there. Again, we're going into metal this time, so I suppose again we could thread lock. I am not going to bother with the maintenance we do on the trucks. Of course we will pick up any loose bolts, won't we? We never have anything fall off these trucks, do we? Yes we do. That can go on there. Pinion will go on there, but I'm not going to put that on just yet because I'm not 100% sure where it goes on there. But remember what we must do when we put this pinion on. Remember, it must be in your heads now. I'll show you when we put it in the car. Guys, she is back in. We will put the pinion on. Now the 2 things I reminded, or didn't even remind you, just to remember, should we say, what's the first thing? Thread, lock, your grab screw on. Even if you just took it off and it still feels really tight, put new thread lock on. So we'll do that in a sec. And lastly, did I tell you, if your motor goes the wrong way round, got a bit of a bird's nest here at the moment, basically just swap 2 of these connectors around. With it being a sensorless motor, it doesn't matter. So if when you hit the throttle, after you rebuild, it goes in reverse, just swap 2 of those cables around. So we're going to get this baby back together, and we will give it a rip, check that motor is all gone back together okay. I'm pretty sure it has. It felt good on the bench, but you never know. Can't beat a good test in the field.
I think so. Oh, that was nice.